The gardens at Audley End House in Essex are steeped in history, from the Capability Brown landscape to the stunning parterre gardens designed in the 1800s, and our organic walled kitchen garden, which still runs on many of the principles set up by the Victorian head gardener, Mr. Vert. These gardens, the location of the BBC Gardeners' World Autumn Fair every year, are a wonderful example of how traditional and modern methods can meet, and they're full of inspiration that can be recreated in modern gardens, from espalier trees to companion planting methods.
I'm Louise Ellis. I'm the head gardener here at Audley End House and Gardens. I'm part of a garden team of 12 staff and 60 volunteers, and we're responsible for caring for 100 acres of landscape, ornamental gardens and the 2.5 acre walled kitchen garden.
We are surrounded by these wonderful espalier apples. They look absolutely splendid, and they've been used in kitchen gardens for absolute centuries.
Espalier trees particularly, I think there are images on Egyptian tombs, but they were popularised in the 17th century. Within a walled garden, they obviously are very productive, so you're sort of maximising space.
They have many advantages to a modern gardener as well.
Not all of the fruit that we grow here is outside. We have some wonderful examples under glass.
So we've come to this wonderful, very appropriately named peach house. Louise, this is a fan-trained peach, and this is another way of training fruit trees to keep them relatively compact, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So as you say, fan-trained, so it takes advantages of walls or fences and also allows you to grow in smaller spaces.
So we need to assist as gardeners to ensure you get a good harvest of peaches. So show me what we need to be doing.
Okay, so we'll use a brush. And we basically move from flower to flower, moving the pollen around.
So right, I get my bee brain on.
There's also the historical vines, and plant expert Tamsin Westhorpe joined our garden supervisor Gemma to carry out traditional techniques on caring for these plants.
So when you're working in this wonderful organic garden, you're using techniques that hark back to Victorian times, but you're also using new techniques. And I noticed as we walk past the vineries, you've got your vines on sort of a level like this, on bungees. What's happening there?
So we're doing our showcase kind of winter work, which is bark scraping in our historic vines. So we do that as a bit of a preventative measure against mealybug.
Okay, so that's an organic process, obviously, and you're just scratching the bark with a knife?
Yeah, and it's very, very traditional. The Victorians exemplified this method. So essentially we're loosening all the bark so we can expose it to the elements, and then we'll put a organic product on.
Wonderful.
Techniques like this would have been commonplace in the kitchen garden back when Mr. Vert was head gardener, as visitors can see when they come to explore the gardens here at Audley End. Whilst we take a lot of inspiration from the past, we're also constantly looking to the future. We have a focus on sustainable gardening techniques, including companion planting and organic methods.
I know a lot of people believe that companion planting is the way forward for organic gardeners and for everyone. Does it actually work?
I think it certainly does have value, especially in a garden like Audley End. It's really important that we encourage beneficial pollinators. We can help attract the right kind of beneficials to the garden, parasitic wasps, etc., to help combat some of our garden pests.
So you could buy an espalier, like the one that's just off to our left, which has 4 horizontal arms from the main trunk. There are other forms as well, so there's something called a step over, which is just the bottom tier, and that would be accessible to someone for harvesting and pruning if they were maybe in a seated position. So yeah, you don't have to do all of the early pruning yourself.
We ensure that the legacy continues as we also support the training of young talent in the horticulture industry with our training scheme, the Historic and Botanic Gardens Training Programme. Over the years, a number of our trainees have taken part in the BBC Gardeners' World Autumn Fair with gardens that reflect our ethos here at Audley End.
Last year at the fair, there was the brewable border, which is a fantastic name, very tempting to go and have a look because every gardener needs a good cup of tea. What was the idea behind that border?
So the idea was anything that's relatable that we can use plant-based for drinking tea, so things like thyme to Indian creeping mint, lemon verbena, something that's quite unusual but very powerful in the garden.
And there were some pelargoniums, I think, weren't there?
Yeah, very much. So attar roses is a particularly good example for brewing and for tea. Those lovely scented leaves are ideal.
They got a gold last year.
Expectations are high.
Yes.
In 2025, Emily, our senior gardener, also designed and built a beautiful border.
So Emily, it's lovely to meet you, and tell me about your garden.
It's called the interwoven garden. It's really bringing together plants that can be used for weaving or to dye as well. Being from a kitchen garden, I like things that are quite practical, including things that are ornamental as well as plants that might be considered to be more wild. They might not be so glamorous, but they're things that aren't just beneficial to wildlife, but you can actually make things from them. So just trying to really celebrate that in the garden.
We've also managed to track down Jess, who's a trainee here at Audley End, and she and her colleague Charlotte have also putting together a beautiful border for the autumn fair.
Our concept is a forest edge habitat, which kind of connects two declining habitats in the UK, so a meadow and a woodland garden. For this, we need to create two contrasting conditions. We're playing with the topography so that the woodland garden is sort of sunken, so it collects water much more.
Coming right up to date, in 2026 we'll again host the BBC Gardeners' World Autumn Fair from the 11th to the 13th of September, and the garden team loves to get involved every year.
We'll be joining you and Saul on the plant expert tours of the walled kitchen garden. We have an English heritage stand within the parkland. Visitors can come and chat to the garden team, and we'll be running sort of drop-in sessions and short talks on different topics. Quite a lot will probably be fruit and vegetable themed.
New this year, we'll also be bringing our apples and pears to the autumn table, where visitors will get a chance to join a flavour-filled workshop celebrating heritage varieties. You can come and discover their history, how they're grown and stored, and try homemade treats like fruit leather and crisp rings. The Autumn Fair is a fantastic place to come and get ideas to extend the season in your garden, explore garden ideas, pick up plants, and get expert tips from Gardeners' World presenters, and much more. We look forward to welcoming you to our beautiful gardens at the BBC Gardeners' World Autumn Fair at Audley End from the 11th to the 13th of September 2026. See you there.